Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil. Today I'm going to be doing a review for Mortal Engine. So without further ado guys, let's get onto it. So to start off with, for my pre-rating score, I'm going to say that this movie Mortal Engines is a good movie guys. Yes guys, I was actually pleasantly surprised by this movie guys. Just like I was with Alpha, this was actually kind of a surprise because after hearing some mixed things about this movie, I guess I didn't know what to think. But then when I worked out, I was actually surprised. I actually enjoyed myself watching this movie, guys. Yes. Now, before I actually go on, I do want to apologize about something in my last video, guys. My last review. And it's the fact that I actually kind of ruined what I was going to give as a final score for the movie, guys. So I do apologize. That was in my Robin Hood review. So yeah. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because it was still such a bad movie. But I'm still apologizing, guys, because usually I know what I'm typing when I do all that stuff for my review, but now I should be okay. So yeah. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the story. So the story of this movie, if you guys don't know, it's actually based on the book, a series of 4 books. Is based on the first one, I believe. Yep. And it's about Hester Shaw and this other boy called Tom, who I forgot his last name. That's not saying that this movie's bad. It's just my bad memory, guys. It starts with N, and it's not a typical last name, guys. Yeah, you know how these books have these weird, interesting last names and first names of characters, guys. But Hester and Tom team up. They go on this adventure through, well, not really an adventure. They have to try and outrun a group of people led by Thaddeus Valentine, played by Hugo Weaving, and he apparently did something to this girl family. And if you haven't seen the trailer, I won't give anything away, guys, in case you don't know. But I'll just leave it at that, guys. And basically, those two are just trying to, escape from him. And along the way, they meet a bunch of people, some good, some not so good, and then yeah, that's really much it, guys. It's basically also a movie that takes place in cities. Like there's a massive flying city which is called London, and it's set in the future. So yeah, that's really all it is. Moving cities, two characters trying to run away from a movie city led by an evil guy, and yeah. But for me, I really liked it, guys. Yeah, I didn't love it. I just had a good time with it. So yeah. Alright, now let's talk about the positives, guys. First up, there were some good characters. I was actually surprised by how in depth they went in with the characters. Yes, I get it, it's based on the book, but the fact that there's a character in this movie who I believe his name is Shriek, played by Stephen Lang, and that's a motion capture performance I had, which by the way that character looks fantastic. Like the CGI in him looks great. But to tell you the truth, that character was one of my favorite characters of the movie. Like I actually cared for that character. I won't give away too much. Well, I won't tell you anything about this character, but this character actually has some emotional weight to the story, guys. So if you get really emotionally attached to certain characters in certain movies, then I think you'll love this character, guys, because they do some very cool and interesting stuff with their character. Also, I do like the main two characters as well, Hester Shaw and Tom. Yeah, those two were fun. The rest were just okay or not that interesting. So yeah. And Hugo Weaving's character, I don't know, he was just a normal villain. Yeah. Also, there's his daughter in the movie who was just a typical girl character. So yeah. Alright. Next up, for positives, we have the action. What can I say about this? The action was amazing. I love the action in this movie. I don't know how you guys probably felt about the action in this movie, but I personally thought it was awesome. I was so glad to actually see some sword fighting towards the end of this movie, guys. I won't tell you who fights who, but it is pretty badass. And as for the ship battles and all that, it was awesome. It was a really cool sci-fi action movie, guys. But there was also some cool moments that it felt like a fantasy movie also. So yeah, And speaking of fancy, I was really surprised how different it felt to a Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movie, considering that Peter Jackson was heavily involved in this movie, in the making of this movie, guys. So yeah, and in case you guys don't know, he actually wrote the script for this movie. He and two other people who wrote the script for the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movie. So yeah, so it did feel different, but that's also really good. Like he's exploring different genres, not just fantasy. So yeah, but you could definitely tell it felt like a Peter Jackson movie at times, like this grand epic story. Like yeah, and finally for positives we have visuals. Of course, the trailers made the movie look epic, and it is an epic movie. Like not super duper epic like Lord of the Rings or maybe Hobbit or something like that, but the visuals in these movies were stunning. They were fantastic. These are some of the best visuals I've seen in a movie probably this whole year, for the whole year, guys. So yeah, so that's mainly what I came across that really stood out to me that were good about this movie, guys. Now let's quickly talk about the negatives. So yeah, all right, so first up, it was a bit rushed. Yes, this movie was a bit rushed. I know it's like 2 hours long or something like that, but to tell the truth, there were times where I felt like the movie could have like gone on more, like not towards the end. We'll talk about that a bit later, but I felt like the movie needed to go on more. I know some people will be like, yeah, it's 2 hours, not like Lord of the Rings or the very first Hobbit movie. It was like most of the Hobbit movies, I should say. Like, in fact, majority of Peter Jackson movies that I know, that I've seen, and even King Kong, as far as I know, they're very long movies. Like, some of them are like 2.5 to close to 3 hours long. Like, this one's probably the shortest movie he's made. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, but for me, as a fan of Peter Jackson, as a fan of his movies, it was actually a very big surprise. So yeah, but anyway, going back to the rush, to what I was saying before, it did feel a bit rushed at times. Like they did gloss over certain story elements, especially with the villain. I could have liked him a little more if they explored, if they gave more time with him, guys. So yeah, all right, let's move on to the next negative, and that's there was some random scene changes, guys. Yes, like there were one or two times, or even like maybe even more than that, like they'll just suddenly cut to a scene and it didn't make sense at all. I don't know whose idea was that, but I don't know. But I felt like those scenes, that those moments didn't really work well together. I feel like that's more of a nitpick, but for me, I kind of count it as a negative, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and finally, it needed a bit of a better, more of a better ending, guys. Yes, the ending of this movie was good, but it wasn't great. So yeah, but just because like it was a bit too happy. Like I don't know how to describe it, guys. To tell the truth, it was just like a normal good ending, but it didn't have that shocking feel. Like okay, maybe there's probably going to be another one, because like I said, there are 4 books in this series. It's called a quartet or something like that. Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to make a sequel, but I'll be on board with it because I, like I said before, enjoyed this movie, guys. So to end off my review, I'm gonna say as a final score, I'm gonna give Mortal Engines a 7 out of 10, guys. Yes, this is by far probably the most surprising movie this whole year for me, guys. Maybe besides Alpha. I had a blast watching it. Definitely go see it if you like Peter Jackson movies, especially the epic sci-fi movies. Some people call this a steampunk movie. I guess you can kind of say that it's a steampunk movie, but I haven't really seen any steampunk movies, so I don't know much about those, but I guess you could call it that too. So yeah, so that's my view for Mortal Engine, guys. Sorry it was a little too long because I kept stopping trying to think of what to say. But anyway, there you have it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed my review for Mortal Engines. My next review is probably going to be not a review, maybe a top 10, but we'll see how we go, guys. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review, guys. Thanks for watching. My name's Akil, and I'm signing out.